Nothing and nobody can make me feel as alive as I do when I'm on the back of that horse for 8 seconds.
I'm going to start with a few of the important questions right up front. Dennis, the most important question goes right to you. Where is your dog, Peaches?
She's downstairs, 5 floors right under me on the bed. And I checked on her and she'd actually made her way up, actually laying on my pillow. So that's where she is, in comfort.
Wyatt, definitely have to ask you. The movie starts with you in the snow. Something has happened. You're in deep shit. At any point, did you think when you were filming that I was making the sequel to The Thing?
No, I did not think that. Although when I did look at myself in the mirror a couple of times, it's impossible to say. With some snow in it, you don't start to see the resemblance. That was the worst day. I'm not gonna say the worst day. It was the hardest day of filming I've ever had. I know they had some tough days in Alaska, but I don't know if he ever buried himself in actual snow. It's possible he did, but it was. I buried myself in under a foot of snow for 3 minutes while the camera landed in the right spot, and then came out and did a negative 35-degree weather in Montana. It was hell. It was hell. It was the worst thing I've ever done. I'll never do it again. At least not that way, but it was.
I think I was out there for 3 hours sitting on the horse and had appropriate clothing on as well. He was out there in his jean jacket and just trying to survive with a horse.
I was actually wondering, it really, I don't think people realize this wasn't some bullshit shoot. This is you out in the elements. And that scene where you're in the car and you have to get undressed and it's like, in all seriousness, how brutal was that?
The hardest thing I've ever had to do, no doubt. I mean, I've had to do some difficult things physically. This was no doubt. It felt like stupid. It felt like this is dumb. Like, what am I doing? I have a kid. I have a newborn child who was 3 months old at the time, and I'm going out here doing this. It was like, what am I doing? I was really asking myself that a lot because I was like, I'm gonna get sick. This is not a joke. They're 10-hour days, 12-hour days.
All that stuff. You go, oh, this is so authentic. Oh, wow, I can't wait. Yeah. And then, wow.
Yeah, you're like, what? We don't have any money to do anything. I was wearing a few pair of socks. I had thermals on, and you put the hot ones on to try but I don't have a big jacket. It's supposed to be caught in a spring snowstorm, so I can't fake it. It was I'll never do it again.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, I really can't believe what you put yourself through, watching the film. And honestly, gentlemen, I really have to say, I really enjoyed this movie. Movies like this are really, really hard to get made nowadays. Yes. So talk a little bit about getting to make a movie like this, which Hollywood used to make all the time, and now is it's so impossible to make a film like this.
That is why I wanted to do it. I mean, that's why I wanted to produce the movie. That's why I wanted to make the movie. I thought it was something that I just hadn't seen. And normally you see movies in this realm that are based on a bull rider who's got his shirt off, he's hot, he's got his he's cut up, he's got the girl. There's a big event at the end of the movie in Vegas that they, he either wins or loses and he either gets the girl or whatever. And it's great. And there's shininess and there's a sheen and there's a place for it. And I appreciate it. But I just wanted to make a film for people who don't get films made about them very much. And this is a large swath of the country who works and makes food and does and raises cattle and does a lot of things that I just wanted to show the reality that there is an underbelly. It's not all just this wonderful, Yellowstone, beautiful sunsets and everybody's hot. It sucks. There's times where it's horrible. You're winning $300. The rodeo's tough. 99% of the guys never make it. You hold on too long and start taking pain pills and your life ends up in the shitter. That's not an uncommon story. And so we tried to put a little bit of happy spin on it, but I wanted to tell that story and proud of it.
I mean, these guys, they come from families where their dad did it or their uncles did it, grandfathers and stuff. It's kind of like the thing, you play football in high school, but you never make it to college. Some of these guys, rodeo is kind of the same way. You do it, you try out, see how far you can get. And, and of course, 99.9% don't make it past that local stage.
And there's poetry in the pain of these people. You know, like that's a large aspect of this movie as well. Is like there's poetry on the back on bareback bronc riding, and that I wanted to be able to, along with Carlyle and everybody involved, like be able to put some of that poetry, or at least poetic voice that I've always enjoyed, onto film.
I definitely want to ask you, and it's a spoiler question, but I'm gonna word it hopefully where it's not a spoiler question. So, there is a gunshot scene in the movie, and I'm curious because you can take it two ways. You can take it that there's a finality in that, and then that there is, and what you're watching after is, are you really watching it? And I'm just curious what your both take on that, because I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, this can be read two different ways.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to answer the question because it does,
Yeah.
like,
I don't even want to
give it
go there
away.
either.
But
But I think we created enough drama with.
I know it does give it away a bit, but like
Well-
I do think there's two ways that you can go with it, but there's a way that you go with it. I don't want to give that part of it away because it is,
Yeah.
you know, the crux of the film. But I hear you.
Yeah, no, it's something I would love to dive more into because I have so much to say about that. But obviously, people are, I think, hopefully going to talk after they've seen it.
Yeah. We can talk at the 20th anniversary of this film. We'll have it.
Peaches will still be alive.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
But so something I wanted to ask both of you, Carlyle, this is his first feature, his first time he's written and directed something. And I'm curious, as actors, do you have different types of questions when you're meeting with someone who's going to be making their first film than you normally would with like a more seasoned director? Like, what is that conversation like?
Well, look, Carlyle wrote such an authentic script. I mean, the very first page where he's describing the tack room and the whole thing about shoeing a horse. It's so specific. It's so authentic that I just wanted to live up to that authenticity. That's what drew me to doing this.
Yeah, that honestly, like, it normally I'd say yeah, because like there's the stories are somewhat maybe convoluted. They're about like a syndicate and Chinese syndicate that ends up killing somebody in Estonia that's linked to the California mob. You're like, wait, okay, so how do you do
doing
this?
that movie right now? Actually, thanks for
ruining it.
talking about
But
spoiler alert.
But what drew me to it, like, Carlyle, when I read it, I was the same as Dennis. I was like, do you do this? Like, is this something that you do? Because this is too authentic for you to not have done it. And he was like, yeah. So that's what I want, is I want to be able to look to my director and be like, am I doing this right? Because I'm not the one that's the expert on it. You are. I know how to do some things relatively well, but I don't know the ins and outs. And so down to the tiniest last detail, Carlyle had it in spades.
I'm just about out of time with you guys. I want to ask you each an individual question, if you don't mind. Dennis, I am very excited for War Machine, which is an upcoming film that you have. If you could tell people about it. And Wyatt, if you don't mind, I am so curious what you can tease about Monarch season 2 and getting to work with Steven Spielberg on his next big summer movie for next summer.
Yeah. Wow. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I was 2 weeks in my part in War Machine down in Australia. It's going to be really good. Alan Richardson is fantastic in this, and the story is so much fun, and it's different. It's really different. Where the personality of this machine, the relentlessness of it is, you will not be disappointed.
Season 2 of Monarch was really interesting to be able to get to do, because we had to expand on certain themes and stuff that we really found in the first season to really work. So I don't know what I haven't been briefed on what I can tease and what I can't.
Sure.
I can say that, like, the mystery sort of deepens. There's more monsters that arrive that are really fun to explore in the story. It kind of we wanted to like level it up I guess you could say, and in the Monarch way, level up the ratchet up the stakes of the relationships as well. And so I can tease that the relationships really kind of get like ratcheted up. Working with Steven Spielberg is what everybody says it is. It's a dream. He's a dream. It's a dream. And nobody that I've worked with a lot of great people. I've been very lucky. He is so involved in every single aspect of the day. He is so open to everyone's thoughts, plans, ideas. He can shift and turn things into a signature moment because that's what it needed in that 30 seconds, and he just does it. Now, obviously, it's all in his brain. There's nothing, there's nothing like special or superhuman. He's a human being who just is an open person and sees film and sees moments of humanity in ways that he knows how to put into his unique vision. And his unique vision is what we're captivated by. He knows how to translate that to other people. He knows how to push you, the actor, to your absolute technical brink, and knows that you're going to pull through on the seventh time, even though it's difficult to do all the layers of what we're been asked to do. And he just he has an incredible ability, like most leaders do, to bring the best out in people. He's an incredible person and makes incredible movies for a reason,
Yeah, nothing is known about the movie. Are you allowed to say anything or no?
Now I'm like under absolute lock and key. I was like written a letter about it, like basically
a couple of people with weapons pointed at us right now.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm not
that question coming up.
Not saying anything.
No. I actually I like not knowing things about movies, and when I go in, I didn't know much about this film in particular, and watching it is so much better when you don't know the twists and turns.
I think so too.
I've been given the signal to wrap. Otherwise, I could ask you guys 5 other questions.
We could talk all day.
Listen, man, I'm a fan of both of yours. I really appreciate the time today, and have a fantastic weekend.